Hi there, it's Tanya from my Botanicum page, going live today about a lifestyle protocol that's hopefully going to support you through some of the times we're currently facing in our country because of the lockdown of COVID-19. So welcome to today. As I allow you guys some time just to log into the page, as you're coming in, please just say hi in the comments. Also, if you already do have a standard morning routine, or maybe we should even call it a ritual, if you could just pop that into the comments about what you do in the mornings to get you geared and have your mind positive and focused for the day at hand, even if you're staying at home. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you for joining today. Hopefully there's going to be quite a couple of extra people on. Obviously the reason for that, most of us are working from home. A lot of us are finding it as a blessing, and some of us might find it actually quite stressful. So hopefully when I talk a little bit about this lifestyle protocol today, it's something that you can start thinking about or perhaps even incorporate, and then you can let me know how it goes, because obviously we're all individuals, we're all biochemically different, but besides that, there are so many different oils that our bodies just respond to really well to support it going through what could be quite a stressful situation. So, I can see people are logging in. Fantastic. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for coming in. And Yolandi, you're both in. Brilliant. And I can see there's more and more people logging in now. So that means we're going live on the page. Fantastic. Just give me a thumbs up. Perhaps just put in the comments. Today I'm wearing a nice, very pink ear headset. So hopefully just let me know if the sound is good. Hopefully it's a little bit better today. There is some background noise going on. Oh, brilliant. Yolandi saying hi. Jolene, hi. Welcome to my live today. Just, Yolandi, if you wouldn't mind, in the comment section, just tell me what the sound is like for this live today, please. I'm testing all avenues at the moment because there's so many people on the internet at the moment. We've got to try and make the background noise, obviously, as well as the interference on internet situations, we try and make them as good as they possibly can be. Okay, Yolandi is saying the sound is good. So let's carry on. All right, so today we're talking about a lifestyle protocol. And the reason for that, morning Michelle, the reason for that is I feel that there's quite a lot of anxious feelings floating around, and everyone seems to start feeling a little bit insecure in a sense. And I think what sort of correlates with all the insecurities that we are starting to build up. Oh, we have a Sandra. Hi Sandra, welcome. What builds up with these insecurities is actually more fear. And remember what happens when we are fearful or we have anxious feelings? Our cortisol levels shoot up, which is not a really good thing, because as soon as that happens, our bodies go into flight or flight. And in the meantime, we should be either having a paid holiday or a non-paid holiday and using this time to regroup and recuperate and heal at home. So when we're in flight or flight, obviously there's quite a few bodily issues that take place, and we actually start becoming indecisive in a sense. We don't make decisions anymore. And how do we then adopt? How do we pivot? How do we detox from these negative thoughts or these beliefs or belief patterns that we're building up now, or even just the emotions? How do we steer clear from that, or make a conscious choice to move away from that? Because we are living in rather what should we call it? Times where we just actually don't know how we're going to continue or what's going to happen, and why are we also fearful about that? So we need to grow our self-confidence a little bit. That's my opinion, because self-confidence and focus actually results in success. And if we think about it really deep down, success literally comes from moving from one failure to the next failure without losing our enthusiasm. So think maybe if you're a child, and that absolute, like you've got the looking through the eyes of a child and that curiosity you have for everything. That's a very nice way to think about it, and to remain or have energy and have enthusiasm and inquisitive about what's going on, because then your whole outlook is going to change. All right, so self-confidence also and I know a lot of people do seem to think this, but self-confidence actually doesn't come from any external validation at all. It comes from it within us. It's already inside us. So we need to sort of start, what should we say? Start doing routines or rituals, or putting in a protocol to process self-defeating emotions and patterns, because you're either going to take the situation we're in now really positively or really negatively. And if you are now going to start cultivating negative emotions, they're going to continue happening, right? And because you're continuously thinking about them, you're going to have a belief pattern that's going to set in, which is going to be really tricky to get rid of. All right. So we need to put measures into place, basically, to get rid of these self-defeating emotions and patterns. We want to center ourselves, so we can improve our self-perception, okay? And we would like to reinforce a strong self-concept, okay? So how do we start doing that? Let's talk briefly. Today I'm going to talk quite a lot about doTERRA's specific blends, just because they work synergistically. They're already there, don't really have to think about it. They're already there to support our bodies. But what I will also do is I'll mention the oils that are present in these blends, because it is really easy to make up blends yourself too, if you understand what you're looking for, so that you know how to support your body. All right, so the first thing we need to look into is purifying the environment, or the thoughts that are going through our minds. And tea tree or melaleuca is actually a beautifully purifying oil because of the alcohol terpene foil in there. But it's not just for cleaning surfaces and being antibacterial. Because of the alcohol or the chemical constituent alcohols that are in the tea tree, I should differentiate there. It's very powerful at protecting our energetic boundaries. So if you're dealing with someone who you feel or your experience from that is a negative emotion because of what they're reflecting into the world, tea tree is a really good oil to get to sort of support your body. So simply putting a drop of tea tree onto your pulse points on your wrists is a really good way. We can also start thinking of purging negative scenarios by employing or starting an exercise routine, because when you get your heart rate to go up, it actually is ideal for a kind of emotional release, in a sense. So whether it is that you're going to be doing yoga or you're going to get on your exercise bike, there's so many free online videos. There's so many people in the healing genre who are offering free classes online at the moment, because there are quite a few people going through stressful situations. So just go and search for them. There's so many amazing sessions out there. Whether you are trying to look to do tremors or trauma release exercises, all of those can be supported with essential oils to make the release a little bit more thorough, in a sense, but also to support your body so that it's not such a heavy detox. Okay, so start thinking about oils that are very soothing to the muscles, that are going to assist them if your workout is too hectic, but you really needed that hard workout to get rid of some excess frustration. So think about soothing oils, things like wintergreen, blue chamomile, frankincense. We're looking for oils that are anti-inflammatory, in other words, analgesic, anti-arthritic. And those oils are actually what are put together synergistically in a soothing blend by doTERRA called Deep Blue, but they also have a blend called Aroma Touch. And both of those blends do incorporate oils that are very soothing to sore muscles, but are going to help with the emotional support as well of getting rid of excess energy and the negative thought patterns that are now starting to circulate and recirculate in your mind as you start becoming frustrated with a certain situation at home, for instance. All right, and then the next one we're going to go on to, obviously, after you've purged it's a process. It's going to take at least 21 days, because 3 weeks, is generally how long it takes to get used to a new routine or a new ritual, okay? The next one we can start looking at, for instance, is grounding and centering, all right? So for grounding and centering, you can literally apply 2 drops of a blend that you're making under the bottoms of your feet in the morning to ground and earth you. So here we're thinking, what grows into the earth? What is like really secure? What is going to ground my emotions? And then you've got to immediately start thinking about roots, trees, in other words, so tree resins, and things that give you stability. So let's look at oils that include, for instance, frankincense, spruce, so anything pine needly, osmanthus, blue chamomile, because it's so calming and grounding, all right? And obviously, again, doTERRA make a really beautiful oil that can help you to ground. It's called Balance, and it's actually called grounding. It's the grounding blend. Okay, so if you do have a collection of doTERRA oils, that's going to be a really good oil to start using, but you're also very welcome to start making your own blend. Another blend that doTERRA have that are really good at grounding and is really good at grounding and centering you is Align. It comes from the yoga collection. It's probably one of my favorites. They've got a really good mixture in this yoga collection, which I use quite often. And this Align blend has oils in it of bergamot, which we all know are really good for negative emotions and actually switching them and turning them into positive ones. Coriander, marjoram, peppermint, jasmine, and rose. And you can just imagine those oils coming together and synergistically aligning you or centering you basically to move forward in the day. So the Align blend, as an example, you can either put in a diffuser or you can put it where you're going to smell it all the time. So you could perhaps take 1 or 2 drops and put it in your hands and rub it together and take a couple of deep inhales. Or you could even put it on your clothes and on a collar. Obviously, some of the essential oils do have some kind of color to them. So always put them somewhere where if it does discolor your fabric, it's not going to be the end of the world. I like to actually put them on my natural bamboo fabric underwear because it's black and you won't see it, and then I can smell it all the time as my body starts to breathe. It's a really beautiful blend. It's very fresh and really, really uplifting. So that's the Align blend. And let me just actually go back and show you this. The Balance blend, which is the grounding blend, that's the one that you need to put onto your feet in the mornings, okay? And that's going to do the grounding. And let's just quickly refer back. I have them here, so I would like to show you what they look like. The soothing blends for the muscles, right? So getting rid of that excess energy, all right? And getting you to release all those negative things. So this is the deep blue soothing blend. The blue tansy in here, I think, is what makes it smells. It's just absolutely amazing. But it also has wintergreen and helichrysum in here, which is really regenerating for your muscular tissue, and it's really cooling. So it's just gonna cool the muscles down and let you move forward. And so does the Aroma Touch. It's got a lot of cooling oils in there. All right, so this one smells a lot more herby because there's obviously a lot more herbs in there as well, over and above the wintergreeny kind of smell that you get from that. Okay, so then after you've now released the negative emotions, you're ready for the day, you've perhaps done some exercise early in the morning, because when you're doing the exercises in the morning, it's a really fresh start. It's like oh good, I haven't been clouded by anyone saying something nasty to me already in the day. I haven't seriously started stressing about my diary for the day. Hi Ruby, thanks for joining. Oh, there's lots more people that came in. Fantastic. Hi. If you've got a morning routine that you do, please pop it in the comments. It's always good for us to see other examples of what other people are doing. And you never know, you might just really help someone. So go and pop those in the comments for me as I'm talking, okay? So after you've now used the Balance, for instance, and the Align to ground and center yourself, we've got to open our hearts, right? Because why? Well, we need to sort of become vulnerable to the fact that we want to possibly move forward, okay? And I know that sounds a little bit scary, but only through becoming vulnerable do we really reach success, okay? And because we're opening ourselves up to new possibilities, and there's no barriers or walls, that kind of thing. So the next step would be to, for instance, for the heart opening, is to use what we call a captivating blend or a beautiful blend. And you can just think of oils that are beautiful to you. They don't necessarily need to be the specific blend that I'm going to talk about now, because if these smells are something that really work well with your body and that captivate you, they are going to do what they need to do. So I'm going to talk about doTERRA's blend today. It's called the Beautiful Blend. It's also the Captivating Blend, and it's a really simple blend. It contains oils of bergamot, lime, and frankincense. And because of the earthy frankincense, rooted, grounding, it's balancing really well with the bright and the citrusy aromas of the lime and the bergamot. Okay, so it helps anchor your perception of self while rising to a new level of self-respect. Okay, I'm just going to take a sniff of that because it's so good. I do very regularly wear this as a perfume, by the way. All natural perfume that just really smells very beautiful. Yeah, no, that is absolutely gorgeous. All right, we could also then start to look at forgiving blends or renewing blends in a sense, or comforting blends, depending on which situation you're finding yourself in while you're working from home, or whether you're taking a paid holiday or an unpaid holiday. Okay, so let's talk about a renewing blend. And when you think of renewing, you've got to think of plants that sort of go through the same seasons of the year, and even if they lose all their leaves in winter, as the spring starts again, the tree or the plants know that they've got to renew, and they start sending out either new shoots and leaves, or even beautiful blossoms. Okay, so seasons it's a normal way of doing things. It's how things. It's the cycle of life, right? So we've got to renew. Okay, and think of oils that include bergamot, juniper. Juniper is actually a very renewing oil. It's called the oil of the night. It actually prevents nightmares as well, by the way, if you put it in a diffuser. And things like myrrh, arbor vitae, nootka, thyme, even citronella, they're all very renewing oils. So if you do have this at hand, obviously it's great because the blend is already there for you to use. It's called doTERRA's Forgive Renewing Blend, but you could quite as easily just make your own renewing blend from the oils that I've just mentioned there. And basically how we'd use it is to roll it in your palm, rub your palms together, and now I'm going to get a nice whiff of renew. And you can literally just like take a couple of deep inhales 2 or 3 times from the palms of your hands. You're your own human diffuser. And it is the renewing blend is a weird blend to get used to because there's quite a lot of citronella in there. So it's probably something that you're going to get used to because you've got to purge all the negative thought beliefs first before you can start moving forward to having a positive outlook on life. And I think what's really important while you're doing your morning exercises, incorporating the oils, a very good technique to start doing as well is obviously to have morning affirmations. So whether that means to you prayer, or whether that means Michelle is saying, am I floating already? Probably because of all the oils that I've just smelled. They're just really so gorgeous. But let's just think about the morning affirmations thing for a couple of seconds. If you're doing your morning prayer, or whether you have 3 affirmations that you already have written down on a piece of paper, or whether you're sitting in a meditative position after a bit of exercise, or you've done some trauma release exercises and you're now trying to focus your mind for the day, those things that you say to yourself, if you start making them positive affirmations, your thought patterns actually start to change. And over time, the 21 days that it's going to start, it's going to take you to get to a new routine. Basically what's going to happen is as you start putting those positive affirmations in, the thought patterns are going to change, and you're going to see how your days actually go from being negative to becoming positive because you're seeing the good in everything. And because you, for instance, are practicing gratitude. Say, for instance, you in the morning write down 3 things that you're grateful for in that day. With time, you will see how your belief patterns change and what a positive impact it can have in your life. Okay. Another oil or blend that we like, that we can use for the same kind of situation is called Console. It's the comforting blend. And the reason why this blend is the blend that I'm going to end off with today, and why I think it's a really important blend to either make yourself or to continue if you do have it from doTERRA's collection, is we actually don't realize it, or some of us don't realize it. Some of us are more in tune with our bodies than others. But the situation we're in currently is actually a rather stressful situation, whether you are enjoying being home or not. Because of the uncertain times, it is a shock for your system, whether you believe it or not. And because our bodies are being shocked, we are actually in a grieving stage, right? And if, depending on whose advice you follow or whose resources you read through, there's either a 5 or a 7-step grief process that our bodies need to go through. And yes, certain situations will make you go through those steps sooner. Some of them will take a lot longer. For instance, the loss of a love, when you lose a loved one. But what we're sitting in now is classic grief, right? So go and do some reading on that and how you actually process all those different stages of grief. But the comforting blend is a really good blend to have with you for these kind of instances. And what this oil contains basically is Frankincense, there we go, it's the roots, it's the tree, very grounding, very earthing, getting you steadfast on the ground. Patchouli, which is a really beautiful bass note, an amazingly smelling flower. Ylang ylang, labdanum, amorous, sandalwood, rose, and osmanthus. And those are all very grounding, very musky, focused blends, but they're all geared to get you to move to the next stage. Okay, and I hope some of you on the call today might have this blend. And if you do have it, after the session, please just go and have a whiff of it, because it is really just so consoling, and it's probably going to be one of your oils that you reach for quite often during these times that we are going through at the moment. And again, okay, my hands have now got so many oils on, so what I'm actually just going to do is I'm going to rub it on my throat here, and then I'll perhaps just put some in my hair as well. I love putting oils in my hair because as I turn my head, basically it's like, you know, they diffuse again and I smell them again. Okay, that's a very good technique. And oh my goodness, I can smell it on my throat already. It's just utterly amazing. Oh, so that is just, it's really comforting. Okay, so if you're someone that's going through quite a stressful situation, in the sense where you're trying to process all these stages we've got to go through, definitely try and make yourself a blend. And if you can't remember what's in that blend, just go into Google and type in doTERRA Console or doTERRA Comforting Blend. Even if you don't have doTERRA oils, if you go and Google that, you'll get to a page where they show you quite nicely the oils that are in that blend, and you can quite easily make your own blend. Oh, that is just really, really beautiful. So what we're trying to do is, with this blend, is we're trying to help the process of grief move along, loss, trauma, and it facilitates a sense of being whole and knowing that greater good is unfolding. Because I do believe the earth is healing. I do believe people are healing, even if most people are really freaked out and really stressed about the situation. I don't think any of us are going to come out at the other side of this lockdown being the same people. A lot of us might have adapted a lot quicker than others. But what is certainly true is I hope that all of you will reassess what is really important in life, what you really need. And those are things like family and friends and connections instead of things, because they don't necessarily really make you happy. I hope you adapt your habits of going to the shops every day, because do we really need it? Probably not. You can plan a little bit better and probably only go once a week. So hopefully this session is going to be renewing. And if you're going to be following this Confidence Overhaul for 21 days, I think you're definitely going to see some positive benefits coming out the other side. If not using oils, just simply starting an exercise routine. Again, there's a lot of free stuff online, some really good yoga classes, Pilates classes, even hectic yoga gym sessions, right? And you can do skipping rope or all kinds of things, right? So there's quite a lot of help out there. So even if you don't use the oils, and you start employing or start incorporating an exercise routine, you're going to get rid of excess negative beliefs and thoughts, and you're going to change the thought patterns. If you're going to wake up every morning and say 3 things that you're grateful for, your thought patterns are going to change, and you are definitely going to come out renewed on the other side, with a lot calmer and more positive outlook on life. Thank you so much for joining my session today. I hope you found that useful. If there's any blends of oils that you are really fond of, that you like, please go and pop them in the comments. They may just help someone else. If you find this video useful, obviously please go and share it on social media as much as you want to. And if you would like to watch the replay, you can either watch it on my Facebook page, because it's going to remain in the feed, or you can go to my YouTube channel where I upload all the videos as well. And then you'll have access to all the older videos, the previous Facebook Lives I've done, as well as all my specific ailment-related series that I have on there as well. So hopefully see you guys next week, Thursday. Hopefully you're a little bit more inspired and you start using the oils you have at home. And let me know, does it have a positive effect on you? Is it making you a little bit more calm? Is it getting you to a stage where you can gain self-confidence and focus from the inside, because you're actually now able to experience what is really going on without all the additional fear and anxiety that is floating around with the situation that we are in. So thank you. See you guys next week. Cheerio.